Hi, I'm Alex from Brinson Marine, and today I'm going to teach you how we winterize this Mercruiser stern drive and get it ready for storage. So the items we're going to need for this winterization are an oil filter wrench, a big flathead screwdriver for the gear lube drain plug screws. We're going to need a water separating fuel filter, an oil filter, fuel stabilizer, gear lube and a gear lube pump, grease, the correct engine oil for your model, earmuffs to run the boat out of the water, and antifreeze. So the first thing we're going to want to do is add fuel stabilizer. This stuff, 1 ounce, treats 5 gallons. So we're going to add the correct amount of that in there. About like that. Now we're going to want to run this engine for 5-10 minutes just so this stabilized fuel gets all the way through the fuel system. Alright, so now we've added our fuel stabilizer. Now we're going to come up here, we're going to change our fuel filter. Because this engine is a fuel injected engine, it says MPI right there, we're going to add our fogging mixture to this fuel filter. The fogging mixture is equal parts 2-stroke oil, Mercury Quick Clean, and Mercury Quick Store. We've already added that to this filter. We want to make sure the filter is full before we run it, otherwise the engine could start for fuel. So we're going to change this fuel filter right now. So on most Mercruisers, the water separating fuel filter is right down here on the starboard side. We're going to loosen that up. This thing off. Try not to spill it. Just like that. And we're going to put this new filter on, put some oil around this O-ring. We're going to tighten it down. Not too tight. We want to get it snug just so the O-ring makes contact, and then we're going to go another half to full turn on that, and that's plenty tight. And now we're ready to run this thing, get our fuel stabilizer through, our fogging mixture through, and then we're good to go. So before we run it, we want to make sure we've got water hooked up to it. You never want to run these things out of the water, otherwise you can damage your impeller and a bunch of other stuff. So we're going to put water right over here. Here's our water intakes. We can cover those up with this hose, just like that. Get our hose running, and now we're ready to start it. So we've got our water running, and now we're ready to run this engine so we can get our stabilized fuel and our fogging mixture all the way through the fuel system and our engine oil up to temp. We're going to run it for 5 to 10 minutes at idle. And now we wait. So we've let our engine run for a bit, and now we're ready to change our engine oil. We're going to suck it right out of this dipstick. Remove the dipstick. We've got this fancy electric pump, but you could use a hand pump. We're just going to suck all the engine oil out through that dipstick tube, just like that. So now that we've got our engine oil out, we're going to change our oil filter. On this one, the oil filter right here on top. This one can make a mess when you remove it, so we're going to put that there. We're going to remove this filter, just like that. Get that out of the way. So we've got our oil filter. We're going to want to put some oil around this O-ring, make it easier for us to get it off next season. I'm going to put this on till the O-ring starts to seat, and then we're going to go another turn or so. Not too tight. That's perfect tightness right there. Now we're ready to add our engine oil. Take this off. For this particular one, a 4.3 MPI. It takes 4.5 quarts of 25 W40. You check your owner's manual for the capacity and viscosity that you need. So we're going to put this cap back on, put our dipstick back in. Now our engine oil is done. So we just changed our engine oil, and now we're going to drain the water out. This one got a single point drain. This blue knob right here. We're going to open that up. We're going to want to make sure the water comes out down there. depending on the model, you might have a couple drain plugs on each side, you know, each manifold, and then each side of the block. You might have this knob up top, might have a little blue thing down bottom, but we need to get all the water out. So now that our water's done draining, we're going to close this knob. If you've got drain plugs out, put all those drain plugs back in. And then, next step, we're going to change our gear lube. Got this cap off. Now let's go down to the outdrive, change the gear lube. So now we're ready to change our gear lube. We're going to remove this drain plug. There's one right here and one here. Both of them are flatheads. Get to this one down on the bottom. Remove that. We're going to want to make sure that the drain plug gasket comes with it. That one did not. So now we're going to make sure we get it out with this pick. We don't want to double up the O-ring. There it is right there. And then same thing up top. Remove this. Gasket out of there, just like that. We're gonna let this thing drain out and then refill it. So we've got our gear lube all drained out. Now we're gonna fill it. We've got our pump all set up. We're gonna screw this into the bottom hole. Get that threaded in there. And now we're gonna pump until it comes out this top one. So we've got it coming out our top hole. We've got a brand new gasket on this top drain plug. I'm gonna put that in there, tighten it down. Get that nice and tight. The bottom one, brand new gasket on it. The bottom one has a magnet on it. We're gonna get this gear lube out of our way. That in there, get that new one in there, tighten it down. That was nice and tight, and gear lube is done. We're gonna go up top, top off our gear lube monitor, our reservoir up top, and that's it. So we've got our outdrive filled with gear lube. Now we're going to come up here. We're going to top off this gear lube monitor. We're going to fill it right up to the operating range. We're just going to dump a little bit in there. So we're at our operating range. Just like that. Put this cap back on there. And our gear lube change is complete. So we've got our engine oil done, we've got our gear lube done, we've got our water drained out of the block and the manifolds. Now we're gonna run some antifreeze through it. We're gonna get this thing set up. We've got a 5-gallon jug right here. Usually they take almost all of this. We're gonna hook it up just like we did our hose with the muffs, right over the water intakes. We're gonna fire it up, we're gonna turn this valve, pump the antifreeze through till we see pink coming out of the exhaust. So let's do that. So we're going to turn this valve on, open that up. We're going to come up here, start our engine. We're going to make sure we don't have any antifreeze coming out anywhere. Looks good. Now we're just going to watch until we see antifreeze coming out the exhaust. So we've got antifreeze coming out of our exhaust. So we're good to go. This engine has got enough antifreeze in it. It's not going to freeze over the winter. Nice and pink coming out the exhaust. We're going to shut it off. So now we're going to trim the outdrive up, get it out of the way. And then we're going to disconnect the battery, and then this engine's ready for storage. So one thing we like to do with a stern drive is inspect the bellows. You know, if these rip, it can cause the boat to sink. This bottom one's the exhaust bellows, middle ones are shift bellows, and then the top one's U-joint bellows. These all look good. We're just kind of looking for any dry rot or cracks or anything like that, because if they rip, it could cause the boat to sink. These ones are good. So another thing that we like to do as part of our winterization here at Brinson Marine is we like to check the trailer bearings, the trailer tires, and grease the trailer bearings up, make sure the trailer's all ready to go for the winter. So we're going to pop this rubber cap out, grease it up, put this cap back on there, make sure it's sealed up nicely. And now we're going to jack it up, check the bearings, check the tires out. So we're going to get this jack under here, jack it up. So we've got our tire off the ground. We're going to give it a spin, listen for any rumbling or anything like that. This one sounds pretty good. We're going to shake it back and forth. If we hear any rumbling or if it can shake back and forth, then we've got a bad bearing. Tire tread looks good. This one's good to go. And then we're just going to repeat this for the rest of the tires on the trailer. So that's how we perform a winterization and get a boat ready for storage here at Brinson Marine. If you got any questions, call or text us or check out our website. Thanks for watching.